is on the front burner. Plus, Aviation Ministry takes bold step to facilitate concession of the sector to achieve world-class airport. Hello there and a warm welcome to NTA International News on this hour. My name is Justin Bemuyi. Senate President Bukola Saraki has called on Nigerians to give maximum support to the federal government on its various programs aimed at moving the nation out of recession. The Senate President, who joined President Muhammadu Buhari during the Jumat service, says the National Assembly would further make useful contribution towards moving the nation forward when it resumes a plenary.
We know we're all going through very difficult times. By this period of time, like any challenge in life, every country, people will all go through challenges. But with prayers, with support, inshallah, we'll overcome it. The most important thing is for us to stay together, give each other support, and continue to believe in this great country that we all have, and stay together. And to be rest assured that we will all weather the storm and stay through together. And once again, as a country, we're this period of continuing to pray. Most of our Muslims on Sunday, Day of Arafat, get prayers for our leaders, our president, and all of us to see that we can do what is right to because we feel the pain. We know what the country is going through. And there is no Nigerian with any blood flowing through will not know that things are difficult, and we pray that with God's guidance would see us through.
Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed says diplomacy is the best form of seeking redress rather than resorting to violence, which is counterproductive to nation building. The minister said these at the command screening of a movie, Oloibiri, in Abuja. Anthony Forsen reports.
The movie Oloibiri is an action thriller that mirrors the international exploitation of oil in the area. With an increased rate of violence and militancy, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed is emphatic about the need to adopt diplomacy as violence, he stressed, is retrogressive, maintaining that the movie is timely, coming when the present administration is determined to meet the demands of the people.
Oloibiri, in its message, invites us all Nigerians, home and in diaspora, to see the futility of anger-born irrationality through the life of its tragic protagonist, Gunpowder.
Minister of Environment Amina Mohammed, while commenting on the movie, said the Oloibiri situation is a national concern, a reason why the federal government has put in motion all machineries at its disposal to attend to Niger Delta issues.
The recovery of what has happened over the 60 years is going to take another 60 years. And yet today, we're still creating 60 years after that.
Oloibiri today is not violently demanding anything from us. We do not wish to wait till they demand it. On our own, we must return to do what we have forgotten to do, to give back to the people and preserve the environment.
Oloibiri is a community in Bayelsa State where oil exploitation began in 1958. In Abuja, Anthony Forsen, NTA News.
And to security issues now, the Nigerian Navy says its operations in the creeks of the Niger Delta region is yielding results. A statement by the Director of Information, Commodore Christian Ezekobe, says a patrol team deployed by the FOB Boni raided an illegal refinery at Boloba Creek in the Boni local government area, destroying several storage tanks loaded with unquantifiable amount of stolen crude. The statement adds that another patrol team arrested a barge at Creek 6 in the same area suspected to be involved in crude oil theft. In a similar operation, the Navy says a marine tanker, MT Team Tango, has been arrested for conveying substances suspected to be dangerous cargoes. Commodore Ezekobe says the ship, which was tracked down with Maritime Domain Awareness MDA capability of the Nigerian Navy, is presently under interrogation. Moving on now, ahead of the 71st session of the United Nations General Assembly, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, says Nigeria will be pushing for the recovery of illicit financial assets, peace and security, as well as economic growth, among other high-stake issues. Gabriel Odu was at the briefing and now reports.
The United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, is one of the 6 principal organs of the United Nations, and in which all nations have equal representation. It is usually a forum where world leaders meet to share experiences and take common stand on global issues. Nigeria, the minister says President Muhammadu Buhari will be bringing to the table issues of security, anti-corruption, and economy.
The President will be signing the Paris Agreement on climate change.
On specific outcomes from the United Nations General Assembly, the minister added,
in this context also, there will be a high-level meeting on the humanitarian crisis in the Lake Chad Basin area. And at the heads of state level, as you know, Lake Chad has shrunk by about 90% or so over the last few years, and this has impacted on the lives of about over 5 million people. And this would be a costly venture. We're talking about maybe up to $15 billion.
Nigeria will also be pushing for the reforms of the United Nations to be more inclusive and support for developing countries. In Abuja, Gabriel Odu, NTA News.
In accordance with the new campaign, The Change Begins With Me, members of the Nigerians in the Diaspora organization America, Daura, are exploring viable options to restore the nation's economy. Joy Osego reports that the 2016 World Conference hosted by the Calgary chapter in Canada is looking at Nigeria's economic and infrastructure development in 2016 and beyond, leveraging on the resources in the diaspora.
The 2016 Conference of Nigerians in the Diaspora Organization Americas was not the usual talk show, but a constructive brainstorming session about practical solutions to the vicious cycle of maladies in the Nigerian system.
How do we partner with those organizations, with those establishments that are already set up in Nigeria to do better than what they are currently doing? Nigeria is not empty.
Nigeria has to be competitive for business. That is what we need. Change policies, cut out bureaucratic red tapes, make the environment business friendly.
Government need to go back and assume its rightful role of a regulator, an effective regulator.
Government is not as bad as they see it because they are outside. Even in Nigeria, people say, oh, it's not possible. Challenge the people.
Speakers from the academia, private sector, the National Assembly and the federal government deliberated on leveraging the resources in diaspora to move the nation from a mono economy. In Calgary, Canada, Joy Osego, NTA News.
And meanwhile, towards realizing the Buhari administration's Change Begins With Me campaign, parents and caregivers have been urged to take active interest in the upbringing of their children and wards. This was the core message by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on National Assembly Matters, Senator Ita Enang and others, at a parents' conference in Abuja. Dennis Adegoloye reports.
Senator Ita Enang, as chairman of the occasion, emphasizes to children and youth that the time for them to be responsible is now.
They told us yesterday that the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. Please, youth, today is that tomorrow they told you about yesterday. Take up your leadership and try to shine.
However, in a world where information technology, the social media and their attendant influences are just a click away, how can the negative consequences of a virtual world be averted? This is a question the parents and caregivers are urged to take seriously.
The child can have friends that he or she will never see or has never seen. How do you then control the friends this child has in the virtual world? So most parents now can only bring up children well if they have the knowledge of information technology of the 21st century?
For the youth, they need to be led or shown the way to see how that change could be made meaningful for them.
What we need in this country is a lot of reformation. We need our children to be socially responsible.
The core objective of the Youth Reformation and Awareness Center, consequently, is to close the holistic development gaps of children through awareness programs and publications. In Abuja, Dennis at Dignloy, NTA News.
Parents of the abducted Chibok schoolgirls have dissociated themselves from any agitation or attempt by groups aimed at ridiculing the federal government under the guise of advocating the rescue of the girls. They stated this at a meeting with the Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Jume Al-Hassan, in Maiduguri. Lami Ali has the report.
At the meeting attended by Chairman of Parents of the abducted Chibok girls, Yakubu Nkeki, and Borno State Commissioner for Women Affairs, Fanta Babushehu, among other stakeholders, the parents of the girls expressed displeasure over recent actions and utterances of some groups and individuals concerning the issue. They expressed sadness that advocacy for the rescue of the girls is being turned into what they described as political witch hunts, a situation that amounts to toying with the lives of those still in captivity.
We don't want anybody to come into government and make an abusive word on our behalf.
We abide by the provisions of the constitutions of the Federal Republic of Nigeria not to infringe or insult any constituted authority in pressing our demand for the release of our daughters.
They restated their resolve to cooperate with authorities in efforts towards safe rescue of the girls. Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Senator Aisha Lassen, reassured the parents that all avenues are being explored to rescue their daughters, adding that the Chibok girls taken to the United States by some individuals whose situation had become a subject of concern is being addressed.
People used them to ask for donations and making money. They took them, although on private arrangement that they were going to take them to school, they were going to pay for their school, but unfortunately this is what they are not allowed to remain in school. The Nigerian government, of course, has business in the welfare of every child or every Nigerian, whether in Nigeria or overseas.
She urged them not to lose hope and be prayerful for the successful rescue of those in captivity and return of peace in Borno. In Maiduguri, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Now talking health, a 13-man committee has been inaugurated to champion e-health implementation in Nigeria. This is sequel to the approval of the governance structure to implement a 5-year health ICT strategic plan that spans from 2015 to 2020. Health correspondent Rabi Abdallah reports that the steering committee has the Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewole, as chairman, and his counterpart in the Federal Ministry of Communications, Adebayo Shitu, as co-chair.
The rapid growth and penetration of ICTs is one that has brought about technology applications in every sector, including health, which is faced with challenges ranging from data collection and management to human resource and issues of universal health coverage. ICT is said to have the potential to help address some of these challenges if appropriately applied.
We need to use this platform to improve data and documentation. If you ask about the number of people who died in Nigeria last year from cholera, everything is about. We need to change this outlook. And much more importantly, we need to use it to really advance the cause of telemedicine.
On my part, I am, as usual, very ready, willing and able to support all initiatives in this direction.
The National e-health governance structure is to coordinate, guide and monitor e-health implementation, including certain rules, policies, guidelines and standards to guide key players. In Abuja, Rabi Abdallah, NTA News.
This is the news on NTA International, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. There will be more news after this break. Please stay tuned.
Information is power. Everyone wants power.
So feel powerful with the NTA News mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the YouReport link, and be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economic, politics, sports, and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected. It's pretty easy. Simply download NTA News app from your Google Play Store and you're good to go. NTA News mobile app, your access to real-time information.
NTA International News. Africa as it is.
Thank you for being there. Bayelsa State Government and Otueke community have expressed support and appreciation to President Muhammadu Buhari for the completion of the water project in Ogbia local government area of the state. The project, which was initiated by the past administration, is to end water supply challenges occasioned by environmental problems. Musa Baba Ali reports that the Minister of Water Resources Suleiman Adamu handed over the project to Bayelsa's state government on behalf of the federal government.
The federal government's decision to establish this water supply project at Ogobia local government area in Bayelsa state was a direct response to the deplorable water situation in the area. The contract for the execution of the project was awarded in 2011 at the cost of over 6 billion naira. The project was completed by the present administration and it has been handed over to the state government.
They will operate and maintain, do the necessary maintenance as and when due, so that we do not get a white elephant project in the end. The project has to be sustained so that the people can benefit from it.
The Central Regional Water Supply Scheme is designed to produce over 3 million liters of water daily to serve over 120,000 people in Otoke and other 12 communities.
Gratitude to His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari for thinking well of our people and making it possible for this good project.
This is one of the very few projects, you can say that, the last administration started that this government decided not to abandon.
The benefiting communities appreciate the initiator of the project, former President Goodluck Jonathan and President Muhammadu Buhari, for completing the project. In Otoke, Ogobia local government area of Bayelsa State, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The Minister of State for Aviation, Dr. Hadi Sirika, has inaugurated steering and project delivery committees to facilitate the concessions of the aviation sector towards achieving world-class airports in the country. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu reports that the concessions also included a national carrier for efficient operations.
Dr. Hadi Sirika said the concessions has become necessary considering the level of neglect and deplorable state of the aviation sector in Nigeria. He charged the committees to work diligently in the realization of the said objective of achieving a world-class aviation sector in the country. The minister enumerated some of the advantages of the concessions, which included job creation, efficiency and economic advancement of the sector.
If you concession your airport from Abuja that is doing 8 million at the moment to an Abuja that will be doing 50 million, to a bigger structure with duty-free, which are basically shopping malls, with every other thing that you need to see in an airport like you see abroad, there will be more jobs for sure, more people will be employed, more technicians, more engineers, because the structure is much bigger.
Speaking on behalf of the committees, the Permanent Secretary, Federal Minister of Transportation, Sabiu Zakari, promised the committee's determination to ensure the success of the project.
We are 100% in support of this project because it will ensure the development of the aviation sector.
The two communities with different terms of references has 24 months within which to complete its project. In Abuja, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
And for update on international oil prices and other financial news, let's join Diago.
Oil prices retreated on Friday, taking a chunk out of the previous day's rally as investors digested data suggesting last week's plunge in U.S. stockpiles was likely a one-off. Both main contracts soared more than $2 on Thursday after the Energy Department said U.S. inventories dropped 14.5 million barrels, the sharpest rate in 17 years. Analysts, however, attributed the decline to suspension of imports and shutdown of some production due to Hurricane Hermine, which passed through the Gulf of Mexico in late August and warned of a rebound next week. U.S. benchmark West Texas Intermediate was down 40 cents at $47.22, and Brent fell 44 cents to $49.55. Meanwhile, traders await a meeting of OPEC and Russia later this month aimed at addressing a 2-year-old global supply glut and overproduction that saw prices hit a near 13-year low below $30 at the start of 2016. The Nigerian equities market closed Friday on a positive note. Diago, NTA News.
And a report just reaching us says President Muhammadu Buhari has arrived Daura, his native home in Katsina State, on a private visit. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president was received at Katsina Airport by top officials of the state government led by Governor Aminu Bello Masari. Also at the airport were members of the National and Katsina State Assemblies, commissioners, as well as the state executive members of governing APC. The Emir of Katsina, Abdul Mumini Kabir Usman, in company of various traditional title holders and members of the community, were also on hand to give the president a rousing welcome. President Buhari later proceeded to the Asian town of Daura, where the Emir Umar Farouk Umar spearheaded the reception party comprising prominent members of the community's political and business class. During the visit, the Nigerian leader is suspected to join the Muslim Ummah in the area to observe Eid al-Kabir prayers at Kofa Arewa Eid ground in the heart of Daura town. This is the second time the Nigerian leader will be celebrating the Feast of Sacrifice with his kith and kin since coming to power. Now over to Uche Wizu for news making headlines around the globe.
The United Nations reports that hunger in South Sudan has reached unprecedented levels, with nearly 5 million people suffering from severe food insecurity. The UN's Food and Agriculture Organization said the situation may become catastrophic and might destabilize agricultural production in the future. On a cheering note, Côte d'Ivoire has announced the reopening of its borders with Guinea and Liberia 2 years after they were closed due to Ebola outbreak. Côte d'Ivoire remained Ebola-free during the recent epidemic that hit West Africa, claiming over 11 million lives. On North Korea's confirmation of launching its fifth and reportedly biggest nuclear test, world leaders had reacted aggressively. North Korea's President Kim Jong-un was accused of maniacal recklessness. The UN had banned nuclear tests, but this is the second North Korea has carried out this year. And Uzbekistan's plan to elect a new president on December 4, following the death of longtime leader Islam Karimov, as stipulated in their constitution. Similarly, voters in Colombia have decided to back a peace deal with Marxist-FARC rebels in a referendum, according to an opinion poll released on Friday. This will serve as strong measures to end